How much I spent attending Sonus Music Festival in Croatia. I just attended Sonus Music Festival in Croatia. It is a 5-day house and techno festival along the Adriatic Sea, and it is amazing. I already have a few videos up already on my Sonus experience, so go ahead and catch up on those after this one. But how much did I spend? I live in the United States. I had to travel over to Croatia. So let's get into all the costs that I spent on the Sonus Music Festival. From the very beginning, I had to buy my flight. So I had to get from Austin, Texas to Croatia. That flight cost me $702.30 and I flew Lufthansa. This cost includes like me picking my own seat because I am not gonna be stuck in a middle seat traveling across the world. So I will always pay for my seat on an international flight. I also had to buy baggage. So those are the costs that were associated with that flight. My flight leaving Croatia was $180.02. And that's because I was going from Croatia to Ibiza. Obviously, if I was flying back from Croatia straight to the United States, it would have been a lot more, but I can only count me leaving Croatia to the next place. My Sonus package cost me $1,616, and I do a full breakdown already on this package, so go watch that video and see how that cost breaks down between my ticket, my accommodation, the transfer, all of the things. So for the full package, $1,616. Within that package, I did get a VIP ticket, and I've already made a video on that as well of VIP versus GA at Sonus and if I think it's worth it for you. Now, I also had to buy an additional shuttle. That was a cost that I was not anticipating because my flight was canceled on the way to Split, so I missed my original shuttle. I give an explanation on that whole situation over there because just a little insert, Sonus does not provide any kind of refunds for cancellations, transfers, nothing like that. Like if you can't make something that you purchased through Sonus, like you're just out of that money. So I had to buy an additional shuttle and that cost me $41. I also went on a Lily Palmer boat party and that cost me 53 USD. There are 4 different boat parties that Sonus offers throughout the week, and they take place before the festival happens around like sunset. And that was amazing. Highly recommend a boat party. So that cost me $53. Cost that actually took place at Sonus Music Festival. I was there for 5 days. I bought 2 things of merch. So my merch cost me $122.87. So this is one of the merch items. I got this shirt, and on the back it has the lineup, if you can see it. I also got this zip up hoodie. On the front it says Sonus in Sound We Trust, and on the back is the beautiful logo. I'm obsessed with the color. I love this. This is what I traveled back home in. Those were my merch purchases. For food and drink, I tried to keep track of it separately, but there was just no way for a lot of reasons. But my total food and drink purchase was $234.58. So one of the things that I had to buy continuously at this festival was water. There are no water refill stations because this venue is very unique. I explained this whole thing in my venue tour, but essentially every stage is a club. So think about every time you go into a club, you're gonna get searched and all that. So it's not like you're just popping from stage to stage freely. Every time you go into a stage/club, they check your bags and you can't have any liquids on you. They didn't even like that day one that I had a metal water bottle because I thought I could fill up my water bottle somewhere. No, they held it at the front for me. And when you're leaving these venues, if you have like a drink in your hand, like you can't leave with that. So like if you're leaving, I would put like the purchased water bottle in my backpack. They're not gonna search you leaving, but you cannot come in with water at all. So I had to buy water bottles like crazy. A lot more than I would have wanted just because I couldn't keep it. Every time I went into a stage/club, whatever water I bought in there, I would have to finish it before coming into another one. And it's like you wouldn't stay at the same stage for hours at a time. Like I was hopping from stage or club multiple times a night. So I bought so much water, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. You got to stay hydrated. You need to stay safe. And I also bought food and popsicles. Sometimes I would eat in there twice a day. So I was eating kebabs and burgers, pizza, these little popsicles every day, these cheesecake ice cream, so damn good. And a few nights I even drank. Like I had some Coronas one night, or last night in there we was drinking tequila, but like we would take turns as a group buying each other rounds of stuff. So maybe that's why the cost just ended up being so much, but this is definitely the most I've ever spent on food and drink at a festival. But to be fair, I was also there for 5 days. Not too bad, I say. At the official Sonus hotel that I stayed at, breakfast was included, so we didn't have to buy breakfast every day, but there were some days that we would buy lunch or snacks or things like that. So the costs on my credit card are $49.24. And then I had an Uber charge for $14.23. It was one of the days that we took the boat party, I think, taking from the harbor back to the hotel. I have various other expenses that I know that I wasn't able to track. Like these came straight from my credit card. There were times that somebody else in the group would pay for something and then I would Zelle them or even pay in euros. Like I know we took a taxi at one point and paid euros. So like that cost is long gone. Everything that occurred on my card for attending Sonus Music Festival, so including the travel to get to and from, everything in my package, all of my expenses at the festival, that cost me a grand total of $2,912.07. Give or take the money that I spent on Zelles and cash, it was honestly probably about $3,000. Let's just say it cost me $3,000 to attend Sonus Music Festival. Now don't freak out. Honestly, that is amazing because I have spent $3,000 to attend EDC in the United States. And I spent this to go to a festival across the world. Now, if you still think like that's crazy price, like you don't even spend that money on EDC or at home festivals, like there's ways to go about it. There's ways to make this a lot more budget friendly. However, I'm a 35-year-old woman. I work a really good job, so I'm past the budget friendly or cheap options of doing things. I like the hotel with a sea view. I want the VIP ticket. I gladly spend money on merch and food and things like that. Now, if you're not at that point in your life, totally understandable. I wasn't always at this point in my life either, so don't feel like, oh my God, it's gonna cost me $3,000 to go to a festival. There are much cheaper options to go about it. Even like the plane ticket. If you don't care where you sit on the plane, you don't need to pay for your seat, you know? Or you don't need that sea view room in a hotel. If you want to do an Airbnb, could be a lot cheaper. If you don't drink, like that's saving you money right there. Or if you don't eat twice a day at a festival, right? Like there are ways to make this a much more affordable trip. But like I said, like if I spent this money going to EDC, like I think a win is a win that I spent the same amount of money to go to a different country that I've never been to before and attend a festival that I've never attended before. That is how much I spent to attend Sonus Music Festival. You can catch up on my previous videos as well. The venue tour, the vlog, the package explanation, and more videos to come in this series. So thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video.